Millions of Ethiopians are living under poverty. Millions of Ethiopians, nearly 60 millions of Ethiopians need access to electricity. Ethiopians need access to sanitation, an improved way of life. So Ethiopians doesn't accept unimposed poverty on Ethiopian people. We believe there are various factors internally, but we also believe that one of the factors that's affecting us as a poverty is unimposed poverty, denying us to develop our resources to the benefit of Ethiopian people.
Moreover, Egypt has been consistent in its attempt to make sure that the decade-long Nile talks end in installment. Thus, instead of surviving for a mutually acceptable remedy, Egypt has always been imposing its will, thus introducing an element of a deadlock into the negotiations.
On the other side, the perspective of the Egyptian government is to exclude Ethiopia. So the Egyptian government is not excluding a country that doesn't belong to the Nile riparian country. It's excluding one of the most important countries of the Nile Basin that contributes 85% of the Nile River. This is unacceptable. The second thing is the Egyptian government repeatedly creates a propaganda and a lie against Ethiopian state and against Ethiopian people. And the allegations are based on assumptions of intentions. They say that they assume that Ethiopia has an intention to harm them. Ethiopia doesn't have an intention to harm them. Ethiopia has clarified its position that it's committed to fair and equitable share of the Nile resource. Whereas we see not an intention, but an action from Egyptians to harm the interest of Ethiopia in preventing us from accessing loans from the international community. These are not intentions. These are actions that are affecting, that are harming the interests of Ethiopian people.
Ephraim said that Ethiopia has no intention of harming the downstream countries while constructing the dam on Nile, adding it has entered into the construction phase only because the dam is a matter of survival for the nation, with no less than 65% of its people still having no access to electricity.
From our side, there is no intention to harm Egypt. There is a commitment for fair and equitable share, and that can come only through genuine negotiation with the Ethiopian people and the Ethiopian government, rather than trying to arm twist Ethiopia, rather than trying to destabilize Ethiopia, rather than trying to lobby other international actors to pressure Ethiopia. This approach will not work. The only way for Egypt to secure its interest is through genuine dialogue and cooperation with Ethiopia.